Hello, I'm Elizabeth. Welcome to my universe. Today I'm going to be talking about loneliness. Most people think loneliness comes from not having any friends, but I think loneliness comes from being in the wrong friend group, having friends that purposefully make you feel lonely. Loneliness is when your needs aren't being met, and you can meet these needs yourself, and I'm going to tell you how. Think about your situation. If you've ever been in a relationship, were you more lonely before the breakup or after the breakup? You're always the most lonely after the breakup, after this person depletes you because they've been giving you your needs the whole time. The answer to overcoming loneliness is giving yourself everything that you need emotionally and physically and being able to assess yourself and give yourself what you need, no matter what it is. People are embarrassed to get what they need and think it's selfish or whatever. But if you want to overcome loneliness, you need to be self-sufficient. When are you the most lonely? You're the most lonely after you've been bullied by a group of people. A group of people coming to you and telling you that you don't fit in, you're not enough, whatever. That makes you lonely because then you feel like you can't get these things. You feel like you are in scarcity at this point. Loneliness is a feeling of scarcity. You need to get out of scarcity mindset and get into abundance. Get out of fight or flight mode and get into peace and just a higher vibration. On the scale of consciousness, loneliness is the frequency of shame. There's this author called David Hawkins. He's one of my favorite authors. He wrote this book called Letting Go. It's a really good book. It tells you how to quantum leap from different frequencies and different versions of yourselves to be a more peaceful, enlightened, loving version of yourself. When you're on a frequency of shame, you're going to keep having these negative thought loops and patterns, and you have to use other emotions and other frequencies that are closer to shame to jump out of it, like anger or desire, like something like greed, to jump out of shame. You can't just go from shame to peace. And I think people just think they can go from shame to peace or shame to acceptance, shame to love, whatever. And that's not how it works. You need to jump through something that's messy and ugly in order to escape this feeling if you're having a repetitive thought loop. So if you want to read the book Letting Go by David Hawkins, he talks exactly about how to let go of these negative frequencies and enlighten yourself and level up and escape these negative thought loops. So I'll put a link to that in my description below. This is not sponsored. I just like the book. David Hawkins is one of my favorite authors, and Letting Go has changed my life. Loneliness has nothing to do with being alone. First of all, I believe we're never alone. I believe there are spirits and ghosts and things we don't know about around us all the time, 24/7. Second of all, there are plants everywhere. There's so much life. There's so many animals. There's so many people just wandering around. You are never truly alone when you think about it. So loneliness has nothing to do with being alone, but rather than the feelings that you associate with being with someone and the resources that you get from being with someone. You need to write down what you receive out of other connections with other people and then give that to yourself. If what you're wanting out of someone else is connection, connect with yourself, meditate. If what you're wanting out of someone else is maybe the way they cook, cook for yourself. If what you're wanting out of someone else is the way they motivate you, the way they get you to work out, go work out. You can get to these things without other people telling you it's okay to get there. You can get to your goals directly by yourself, and it takes a lot of strength to do that, but you can do it. And once you get into the habit of giving yourself everything that you've ever wanted, you're going to realize that you don't really need other people to allow you to access the things that you desire. If you are lonely because you want to be in love with something, you want to be in love with someone, you want to give someone all your love and affection, give it to yourself, pour it into yourself, and then when you finally do meet someone that you feel worthy of all this love and affection for you, that actually is compatible with you and aligns with you, you're going to be such a higher frequency, so you're going to be able to give more to other people by giving to yourself. I don't think it's selfish to give to yourself. I think it's selfish to not take care of yourself and then just make other people deal with you. That's so selfish. That is such a burden to other people. If you are not going to go to therapy, if you're not going to fix yourself, if you're just going to be a victim and complain and put it on other people, that is such a burden. That is so selfish to do. I think it's so backwards that we think self-care is selfish, because self-care is the selfless thing you can do because it allows other people to interact with a higher version of yourself. It lifts them up. It lifts you up. It takes the burden off of their plate. They don't have to care for you, because if you don't care for yourself, someone else is either going to do it for you or you're going to lash out on someone else and they're just not going to deserve it. So I think self-care is essential. It is essential to take care of yourself, especially for other people as well. You're going to want to get your negative thoughts out of your head if you're in a negative thought loop. So in a safe space, write it down in a journal. Write down every what if, see if there's a theme, and that theme is your shadow self that you need to heal through somatic exercises. That's something you need to meditate on. And if you don't know what exactly the issue is, that's something you need to meditate on. You need to do the inner work to heal your shadows so you can overcome loneliness. Because you are not alone. You're surrounded by energy all the time. But you feel this shameful situation about yourself. So you need to overcome that. Something you can also do that helps me overcome is I am very creative. Create more than you consume. Do something creative. Do something artsy. Express yourself. Expression is the opposite of depression. Express yourself. Never stop creating. Never stop sharing. Never stop sharing what you have inside of you. Because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes life beautiful. Never stop your light from shining. Even if you feel lonely, even if you feel like you're the only one who's going to see whatever you do. Do it for yourself, you know? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video on how to overcome loneliness. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh yeah, wait. Make sure to like and subscribe, by the way. Do that on like all of my videos, please. And comment below what you think. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.